2015 semester is winding down, and so are we here at Cronkite Sports Live. Welcome into a special final edition of our show alongside Jake Garcia. I'm Kerry Crowley. Jake, right off the bat, we'll start with Sun Devil football. That was the team making waves throughout the season this fall semester. Arizona State started with high hopes after back-to-back 10-win seasons. Todd Graham thought this team could contend for a Pac-12 championship, but ultimately, here we are in December, 6-6, and Arizona State isn't going to any marquee bowls.
Yeah, their bowl is really in question right now. It could be the Cactus Bowl. No one really knows where they're going, though. We do know this, it's not going to be playing on New Year's Eve, and that's obviously what their goal was going into the season. A lot of injuries derailed them early on, but still, for Todd Graham's standards, it wasn't an acceptable year.
A lot of positive takeaways simply because the Sun Devils did reclaim the Territorial Cup, 52-37. They took it over the Arizona Wildcats a few weeks ago at Sun Devil Stadium. Let's talk about your memories from this Sun Devil football season. 6-6, obviously not what many people wanted to see from this team, but there were still many moments that inspired greatness.
Right, you have the 3-overtime game against Oregon. An exciting game, and the Sun Devils didn't pull that one out, but it was great to be a part of and to cover that game. You have the Territorial Cup as well. Senior Day was a really special moment for a lot of these guys, Mike Bercovici, Jordan Simone, Vite Afilo. Seeing these guys come out of Sun Devil Stadium and embrace Todd Graham, obviously it's been an up and down season, but at the same time, there's a human element to it as well. It was a pretty cool sight to see.
Well, through all the ups and downs, there was one consistent factor, and that was the WCSN and Cronkite Sports Live coverage team. Elaine Wilson has our first package on this show. She recaps the Arizona State football season in review.
We have awesome human beings on this team. We have amazing human beings on this team. We have a brotherhood that cannot be broken, and we are a family. We are a family. And if we can stick that for the next couple months through camp, we are in the driver's seat to do whatever we want.
Kirk Herbstreit has you guys making the college football playoff.
Smart guy.
What, if anything, do you think could get in the way of that?
All about 15 opponents. I'm glad we have this game because when we start conference play, it's going to be the same thing.
It's finally time to find out just how deserving of the hype these Sun Devils are.
When you play an opponent like that and you make mistakes, you get exposed. We did a lot of things to beat ourselves. Our deal is just be 1-0 every week.
The final score was 35-21 Sun Devils.
A win's a win, and we're excited about it, and we're excited to move on.
Week 3 of the regular season has begun for the Sun Devils, but it is week 2 of attacking a unique offensive strategy, the triple option.
Sun Devils would go on to win this one 34-10.
I didn't enjoy those 2 weeks. I'll be honest with you. It's very difficult to defend that.
About 72 hours separates the Sun Devils from their Pac-12 opener against USC.
We've done well against the Trojans in the past, but that doesn't matter because it's a completely different year. If we had to suit up right now and head out Tillman Tunnel, we're ready to go right now. Next play. That's all you can do.
My confidence in our team will never change.
So though we're self-destructing when you're turning the football over like that.
The mood is pretty simple. Nothing much needs to be said, but come Saturday at the Rose Bowl, we need to take care of business.
There's not much to say other than we need to go get it done.
Big applause, best practice we've had all year.
And I didn't say much. The big thing, like I've said all week long, our big focus is us.
That Saturday is a must-win.
But just keeps going. Are you kidding me? Barrage carries basically everyone on the field. They win. Your final score, 38-23.
It was vital. Our backs were against the wall. We had to get it done to stay alive.
So just dominating every single day. And today, we won today. We won Thursday. Got to have a great walkthrough and beat Colorado on Saturday.
ASU goes up 48-23. That would be the final. The Sun Devils win and improve to 4-2 on the season, 2-1 in conference play.
If you were to ask, would we want to switch the situation we're in right now, being 4-2, I would say no, because we have dealt with adversity. We're excited about the situation. We're more hungry now that we do have those 2 losses.
Doesn't matter where you start, don't matter where you are in the middle, it matters how you finish.
They're ranked high because they should be.
On the kickoff return, the very next play, ASU's Tim White is going to take this one 100 yards. The final score of this one was 34-18.
Again, I think just fundamentals.
The fundamentals.
Focus on the fundamentals.
Some fundamentals, so it's a fundamental day for us.
Usually it's Oregon making statements with their uniforms, but on Thursday night, it was Arizona State. Camouflage socks and shoes, only a part of a tribute to Pat Tillman. After a controversial Oregon touchdown, the Sun Devils must score. On second and goal from the 3, Berkovici drops back, looks for Tim White on a slant, and that's not him. Ducks win 61-55, an unbelievable game.
Do we steal signals? Yeah, we do. Do people steal our signals? Yeah, we do. Do you see our signs and all the things that we do?
Lloyd Carrington pushes him out of bounds, it looks like, but there's never a whistle. It's called an inadvertent whistle, and the Cougs have another chance to get the touchdown, and they do. The final score of this one was 38-24.
They give you the explanation on the extra play?
Well, I better not talk about that, because I'm pretty frustrated in the last couple weeks. Got a lot to play for now, I can tell you that.
And with the Huskies driving, they did. Quishy Brown steps in front of Browning's pass, it's intercepted, and the Sun Devils go home victorious, 27-17, the final score from Tempe.
That was the most chaotic first quarter I think I've ever been in.
You know, we know what the mission is Saturday, and we're not going to be distracted by, the emotions of senior day, but it is a pretty monumental day for us seniors.
The most important game on our schedule, most important game of the year period, most important thing that we do, and you want to be able to be a part of the group that says that in the Territorial Cup you got it done. This game is worth 5 wins.
Mike Berkovici, he's going to connect to Devin Lucian. He was connecting to him all night. The Sun Devils win big over the Wildcats. The final score of this one, 52-37. They reach bowl eligibility, and they're going to face Cal next weekend.
What would you tell someone here in this valley, a young man, about what is it like to go to ASU? And he said, well, if you want to be a man, you come to ASU. And he said, because I've become a man.
This is something that I never thought I'd be sitting in this situation, finally being a fifth-year senior and playing our last game in Sun Devil Stadium. But for this 2015 unit, especially some of these guys who've been here 5 years, it's obviously extremely special.
Given everything that you guys have gone through this year, the ups and downs, the falling short of your goals, just how much did you guys need this? How much did you need this?
We just won the Territorial Cup, go. Golly.
Continuing along with our special edition Cronkite Sports Live show, a semester in review, let's touch on the Arizona State hockey team. Their inaugural season in NCAA Division I, a season removed from an ACHA championships. Greg Powers, the head coach of this team, had a lot of experimentation to do coming into this season. New recruits playing against higher caliber opponents, so a lot of question marks coming into this season. Well, now this team sits at 5-8. They have a freshman goalkeeper in the back of their net, and now they return home for the first time in over a month. So now we'll send it out to the experts at Oceanside Arena, who are here to break down everything Arizona State hockey.
The day has finally arrived. Since November 18th, Sun Devil hockey fans have been waiting for this moment. The Sun Devils NCAA season is opening tonight at Gila River Arena.
It's a dream come true. I never predicted it. I never thought it would happen. I'd always hoped it would happen, and I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Sun Devils win the opening draw. We're underway in the 2015 season. There's Schmidt, a shot, and it goes through Patrick. Right on cue, it's Connor Schmidt. That one's going to hold the first goal of the Sun Devil season.
I'm starting to think about it, and it's an honor. It's like something I can tell my grandkids, and it's kind of speechless right now.
Did you get to keep the puck?
Yeah.
Gila River Arena was the site of the first NCAA game for the Devils. They are victorious over the Wildcats, 8-1.
Great night to be a Sun Devil. Great crowd. We appreciate everybody coming out. That was awesome. Our guys played hard. The guys are excited, and now we're off to Alaska next week.
After making history 2 weeks ago with its first victory at the Division I level, the Arizona State hockey program made another statement over the weekend on its trip to Alaska. The last frontier was kind to the Sun Devils, who picked up their first victory over an NCAA opponent. In Connecticut this weekend, their first game didn't fare so well as the Sun Devils fell short to 17th ranked Quinnipiac last night, 5-0.
Coach Powers has done a great job getting their program rolling here in a quick hurry, and obviously had a win last weekend and a loss in overtime. But I think it's exciting for college hockey to add programs of that caliber.
And now it is Krieger sent forward for Gilling. ASU wins their third game of the season, and they sweep the Penmen here in Oceanside as they reopen the newly
Bouncing back from a tough 3-game road trip and 5 games in 8 days to come out and outscore our opponent 16-3 in 2 games. It says a lot about our group. We didn't deserve to win that game. Every experience we get this season, we have to embrace, and get better from and build off of. And we generally bounce back pretty well the night after losses. We are stringing together really good moments, but we're not stringing together 60 good moments and 60 good minutes. And until we do, this is how we're going to practice.
Now they center it in front, scored! You could see that coming. That Laker change did not work well, and Arizona State sweeps the weekend series.
The Sun Devil hockey team is coming off of its first ever sweep as a Division I team. The team knocked off Lake Superior State in back-to-back nights last weekend, and Coach Powers was so pleased with the performance that he gave the team the weekend off. Well, actually, that's just how the schedule kind of worked out.
They're going to see a vast array of talent come into Oceanside. I know when they come back here on December 5th, they're going to be taking on Alberta from Canada, and they are the real deal. So in games like this, they're going to learn different little things to take from each game and improve on moving forward. So there's going to be a lot of lessons in this inaugural season. There already have been, and I expect year 2, this entire year, to be a learning experience, as I already stated. In year 2, we're going to see this team put that all to work.
Hello and welcome into Oceanside Ice Arena, home of the Arizona State Sun Devils. I'm Megan Plain. Alongside me, we have Jacob Janauer, Joe Constantine, Dom Cotronio, and Gabe Mercer. Now guys, the Sun Devils are 5-8 on the season so far. They finally have their goaltender situation figured out. What do you guys have to say about how that's played out so far this season?
Well, I think it's interesting that Powers decided to go with Robert Levin over David Jacobson as his backup. Levin has a lot more experience, and I guess Jacobson will just be learning under Pashevitz and under Levin until next year.
And Jacobson is a good goalie. He's proven in the 2 games that he's played in. He has a .935 save percentage, and that's something I think you need to note. But again, Levin is that clutch guy. You've seen the past 2 years at ASU, so that's why I think they're going to end up going with him.
I think what it really comes down to is, would this have been a different story if Levin was not out at the start of the season due to his injury?
And don't forget, he's coming back from his ACL injury at the end of his last ACHA season. But on Jacobson, those 2 games, it's just not enough sample size, I think, for me. And they have continually gone to Levin because of that set experience with the national championship year with the ACHA, and then the tumultuous year they had last year, going from #1 in the ACHA, jumping to NCAA, suffering a couple losses, and finishing 3rd. So he's been through it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now shifting gears a little bit, Jordan Masters has obviously been one of the key players this season so far, but if you guys had to pick someone other than Masters, who would you pick as your key player?
I'm going to start out with Joe Lappin. He's not always filling up the stat sheet, even though he does have 3, 3, and 6. He only has 1 penalty all season to go with his +1 rating. I think when you have 1 penalty on this team that's still learning how to get their feet underneath them in NCAA, you have to stay out of the penalty box. And Coach Powers just talked about that, making sure they stay disciplined on the ice, and Lappin is definitely that candidate.
I'm going to have to agree with Lappin, but we can't forget about Rats. He's the leader in assists this season. Not only are players like Masters important who are getting those goals, but these players who are helping these players get the goals.
I'm looking at an upperclassman, Ryan Belanger. He'll really provide a veteran presence out on the ice, has a couple key goals this year too, including a game winner in Alaska.
Do you think his D1 experience is really helping this team right now?
Absolutely. There's so many freshmen on this team that they look to leaders and upperclassmen like Belanger, and his play kind of speaks for itself on the ice, but he's also great off the ice as well.
And I want to touch off what Gabe said about Joey Rats. being a defenseman, having 11 points to this team, that's a huge factor. You need to get the puck up to the point, be able to get it in. Joey Ratzlaff's obviously been able to show that he can do that. But my guy is Liam Norris. He's really the head on that third line. Third and fourth lines have to play big, especially the NCAA level. If those guys can start to get more points, move the puck around better, you're going to see this team improve their record, improve their style of play, and that's going to really benefit them in the long road in this journey, the transition to the NCAA.
I think also you got to remember his positive face-off margin for Norris as well. It's been huge onside the dots.
Now looking ahead to the remainder of the season, they have some tough opponents ahead. So how do you guys think that the rest of the season is going to play out?
I think it's just a matter of, staying the course, playing a little bit more consistently, and getting to that 500 mark. I think that should be ASU's goal at this point. They're 3 games below 500 right now, but just playing a little bit better in December, into January, and February, and I think as they play more games, they'll get more experience and become better as a team.
And as Jacob said, getting to that 500 mark is a big thing ASU needs to try and strive for as we compare them to Penn State, the last team to really make this jump up to the NCAA level. But I think for Arizona State, they know they're not going to be a team competing for any tournament bid, anything at this time. But they know they have to improve their game because years to come, this is going to be a team organization that people are going to look to come here in Tempe, Arizona. They're going to want to play big. And I think there are going to be some good things to improve. There are a lot of things to improve on, but there's going to be some positives coming out of the season.
Well, yeah, of course you're not going to be looking for a playoff bid. This is embrace the foundation, right? So they've got a lot to learn, and they are definitely learning that. And I think they will, especially when they face Nebraska Omaha in a couple of weeks, as their schedule really ramps up. You'll learn a lot this weekend against a Canadian team, a lot bigger, more physical team, and then beyond that, just playing a high level of opponent. No more Southern New Hampshire's and only 2 more ACHA, but they are the high-level ACHA opponents that they'll be facing.
Yeah, like you said, this weekend is going to be a huge learning experience for the team, which is what this season has been all about, just adjusting and preparing for the future. But I think definitely as we look forward to the rest of the season, there are some big games, but I think they're preparing in the right ways to get ready for these games and then the future seasons ahead.
And you can only improve off playing higher level teams as you're going to see them play, especially this weekend. They're playing an Alberta team that is not NCAA, but this Alberta team, guys, has been playing since the beginning of September. They have over 20 games under their belt. They're going to come into Arizona here, and they're going to be playing very well. Their team chemistry is going to be a lot higher than teams that we've probably faced already, and it's going to be something to watch for.
From Sydney to Athens to Beijing to London, one American superstar captured hearts across this country, and it was Michael Phelps. Phelps was magnificent in the pool in each of those 4 Olympics, and he's promising a comeback for Rio de Janeiro in 2016. But little do many Americans know that alongside Phelps through this whole venture is Coach Bob Bowman. Bowman was by Phelps' side every step of the way, and Phelps attributes much of his Olympic success to the man who stood outside the pool. Now, Bowman is back at Arizona State and coaching the Sun Devil Division I NCAA swim and dive program. Bowman is a big-name hire for Ray Anderson, the Sun Devil athletic director, and already he's transforming the Sun Devil swim program. Our Ryan Curry had a chance to catch up with those Arizona State swimmers.
Winter is coming at the Mona Plummer Aquatic Center, and that means one thing. The swim season is halfway over. And for head coach Bob Bowman, he seems confident on where his team is at right now.
Well, I really didn't have any idea where we would be. But I feel like we're in a pretty good place, and they've made a lot of progress. There's still a lot left to do, and we know that, and there's a lot of things that we've got to improve upon. But, they gave a really good effort in this invitational meet. I think they learned a lot, and now I have a real clear picture of where they are.
Bowman's impact has pushed the team forward. At the Art Adamson Invitational, the team swam their hearts out. The men's 400-yard and 800-yard relay teams recorded some of the fastest times in the nation.
We've done a really good job. I think most of them a lot of them swam their lifetime best times in this meet last weekend, which is a very good sign because we didn't really fully prepare for it. So I think we have done a good job helping them improve, and now we just need to finish out through the rest of the season.
Bowman has spent his coaching career training professional athletes for big meets like the Olympics. But now Bowman gears his focus for smaller individual dual meets against other schools. Although the team hasn't done well, the school spirit and college atmosphere is exciting for Coach Bowman.
We've taken our knocks, but I knew that was going to happen. That's just kind of where we are. It really is fun, and it's just a different aspect of swimming, which I think it's great to have a meet where every race means something. There's a point to be had in every race. So everybody on the team is swimming for something that can really help the team, and it just adds a different dynamic to what's going on.
One of the biggest things people wanted to see from Bowman was the recruiting class. The question is how many young high school athletes will want to train with the guy that coached 18-time gold medalist Michael Phelps. And next year, ASU will welcome several new swimmers that will make an immediate impact on the team.
I feel like every person that we sign will come in here and help us immediately. They have a great work ethic. They're the kind of people we want. They're very good students. And I feel like we've targeted some areas where we really have a need. Of course, on the women's side, we have need in every area. Our numbers are so low. But in the men's side, we really have some good distance-oriented swimmers now. An IMer who I think will be a world-class IMer, a couple of them. And so we really have addressed a lot of our weaknesses.
The Arizona State swim team won't have a meet for a long time, which allows them to get some rest and return to training so they can prepare for the championships in the spring. In Tempe, I'm Ryan Curry, Cronkite Sports.
When Arizona State volleyball took the court in their first-round matchup of the NCAA tournament against Florida State, they did so with 3 freshman starters. This is a program that went into the tournament having lost 5 of their last 6 games, so obviously hopes weren't all too high for this team. With that being said, this is also the 4th year in a row in which they made the NCAA tournament, so obviously they were trending upwards before that. Why is that? Well, the backbone that head coach Jason Watson has instilled can be attributed to the success and the stardom of some of their senior players. Macy Gardner, Whitney Follett, Bianca Ariano, just a few names of this prestigious Sun Devil senior group. For more on them, we'll send it out to WCSN reporters who have a senior day story.
Senior night is a time for tears, emotions, but mostly joy. On Friday, Arizona State honored the most decorated class in program history by reminiscing on all the accomplishments and memories that the 5 seniors gave not only to the school, but to head coach Jason Watson.
I came here in the spring of 2008. I have a journal, and I wrote in my journal at that time, I think I have committed career suicide. You asked me about this senior class that got this program ranked, that has 4,000 legitimate fans in the stands. You know, none of that happens without those 5. They have taken my job from being career suicide to one of the best jobs in the country.
The 2015 senior class not only made history, they changed the face of Arizona State volleyball. And that's something that Coach Watson mentioned after the game, that he's not only looking for good players, but also good people who are genuinely passionate about the game.
It's not a boastful team. It's not a team that makes it about the individual. You know, they'll be out there signing autographs all night if you let them. And I think that's unique. And I think that's what's special about college athletics, but it's certainly what's special about this team.
Fans, please stand and join Sun Devil Athletics in honoring Bianca Ariano, Whitney Follett, Macy Gardner, Andy Lorenz, and Mercedes Pinn.
From Wells Fargo Arena, I'm Troy Lynch, Cronkite Sports.
We opened the show talking about Arizona State football, and Jake, we just saw a great package about the Sun Devil volleyball senior class. Arizona State football recently celebrated Senior Day as well. Players like Mike Bercovici, DJ Foster, Antonio Longino, all honored. Before we send it out to Elaine Wilson and Mauricio Casillas for some analysis, I want to get your thoughts on the meaning of this senior class and what it has impacted Todd Graham's program.
Well, I think everyone going into this year thought this senior class had a chance to do something special, possibly bring home a national championship to Tempe. But I think as the season progressed, we started to see a different narrative unfold. This senior class were really the foundation setters, and I truly believe that better things are to come for the Sun Devil program. In all honesty, Senior Day in the future may not be honoring players who have huge impacts on this team. You see Mike Bercovici, DJ Foster, Jordan Simone, all those guys were integral to the Sun Devils' success this season. In years forward, I'm not so sure that these guys don't graduate, say, after their junior year. We know that may be the case with Demario Richard, possibly even Kalen Balaj, and some of these recruits that the Sun Devils are signing all have the potential to do that as well. But this senior class for Todd Graham, I think, was especially important. It lays a foundation of both character, hard work. Perhaps the success wasn't there, and obviously that's the most important thing. But for this senior class, I think they can take that away with them.
This Sun Devil football program has character at the top and talent at the bottom. The underclassmen are rising, and like you said, there are stars in the form of Demario Richard and Kalen Balaj. So where did things go wrong for the Sun Devils this season? How did they end up 6-6? We'll send things out to Elaine Wilson and Mauricio Casillas for more on that.
Joining me now to talk about the football season that really wasn't what people expected is Elaine Wilson. Now, Elaine, 6-6, the Sun Devils finish off the regular season. Not what people were expecting at all, but what gives? This was supposed to be Todd Graham's best team, and it turns out it's going to be the team with his worst record here.
Yeah, well, at the start of the season, they started 2-2, and that was with the Texas A&M game, the two triple option teams, and Cal Poly in New Mexico, and USC. And you got to remember that triple option is really grueling on the defense and caused a lot of issues, caused a lot of guys to be in green and be limited in practice leading up to that USC game that was so vital to their Pac-12 South hopes. I'm not saying that the injuries necessarily could have played a huge part in the outcome, but maybe the disparity would have been a little different between the two.
Now, Lane, this was supposed to be a team that was supposed to have the offense flying, a lot of starters coming back on defense, and then you saw at the end of the season, the offense sort of started to get things going a little bit, but then the defense wasn't playing as well. And then in the beginning of the season, it was the opposite. So what happened there?
Well, I think it was, finally there was an established rhythm between Berkovici and Lucian, and we saw those guys even go off at the end of the season. But the defense started falling flat because there was key guys that were doing their jobs, and then there was key guys who weren't. You know, Kareem Orr, he was able to get interceptions when he was on defense, but he had a lot of missed tackles. Solomon Means, when he started, was doing a good job, missed that huge tackle in the Cal game. When you have guys like Jordan Simone and Antonio Longino picking up the slack for everyone, that doesn't make a complete defense.
Now, Lane, the Sun Devils lose a couple of key guys. You got Berkovici going out, DJ Foster gone, Jordan Simone gone, the emotional leader on defense. But who's going to have to step up now? Who are the young guys that are going to have to step up, fill those roles for 2016?
Well, it's definitely whoever the starting quarterback is going to be, and it's going to be a tight race in the offseason of who that's going to be, but Manny Wilkins was taking those reps at the number 2 spot, so he probably has a little bit of a lead in that sense. When it comes to the defense, it's just going to be those guys that we saw step up this year that could have more of an impact. Kareem Orr needs to be better, needs to not miss tackles and stuff, but he obviously had an impact because of those interceptions he got this year.
Now, Lane, there's 3 quarterbacks right now that everyone's wondering who's going to be the starter in 2016. Your prediction between Brady White, Manny Wilkins, and Bryce Perkins?
Well, I think Manny Wilkins has shown himself really well this year. In the few times that he has gone on the field, he's done well with the read option. But I do think there's a really established chemistry between these new recruits coming in from Chandler with N'Keal Harry and Chase Lucas and Bryce Perkins. So I think it would be really interesting to see Bryce go in there. But Manny Wilkins probably has the lead thus far.
Good journalism says there's always multiple sides to a story. You just got done watching Mauricio Casillas and Elaine Wilson give you a really intelligent analysis as to why ASU is 6-6 this season. Meanwhile, there were also the unintelligent responses, and don't worry, we got those on camera as well. Nick Wixman is here with the sights and sounds of a year in review of Street and Greet.
Guys, I've been here to bring you Street and Greet for the last few semesters, and well, this is my last time on camera for Walter Cronkite Sports Network and CSL in general, as I'm graduating, so we thought it'd be nice to do a nice mashup. It's been great to bring you Street and Greet. Check out the best of Street and Greet.
More the merrier, man. Caught back up, that's what's for, you know. Just go hard on the field, you'll be good, you know.
I think it'll help them out great because he's a really great linebacker.
Ooh, I think that'll be kind of tough, especially in the city of Utah, knowing that some babies, which we are the Devils over here, going over there, they might not like that too much.
I think that's fabulous. Oh my gosh, I would love that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so it would be awesome.
I don't know, that's kind of like, you know, there's PS4 versus Xbox One, and then there's whoever likes the Wii U. Like, why does NAU even get involved in that conversation? There's like the Crips, the Bloods, and then whatever gang Sha Na Na was in.
I think they're pretty high, just like they're 6-5 right after the win of U of A. I think that'd be pretty good to be in that bowl game.
Right now in the season?
Yeah.
Not Reggie Bush.
Not Reggie.
Why? Because he's not been doing so good this year.
I mean, Trojans can break, so we can break them.
How do you think Kessler does as Burko's rover back for Saturday's game?
I have no idea who Kessler is, but he's definitely not Brett Favre.
He's not.
No, he's not. He's not Aaron Rodgers.
Do you know who he's related to?
I'm guessing he's probably related to Teddy Bridgewater.
Demetrius.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. He just got quick feet. He has to have it. He has to have it. He's a big hitter, but he's not a fast man. Not faster.
I think that just builds team chemistry. Everyone's vibing in the weight room. Everyone's vibing in the practice facility. You got music, you got vibes.
Have you heard DJ Calhoun's stuff?
Yeah, of course.
Is it good?
Yes, it's
What's
great.
What's your favorite song? Or favorite?
I don't know my favorite song. SoundCloud it. Everyone should SoundCloud it.
Right.
It's great
Yeah.
beats.
Hail Mary. Jail Mary. Let's one time Jail Mary for me. Okay, yes, Jail Mary. You guys want to Jail Mary. But look, USC wins 54-48. You heard it here. That's your street and greet. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
From reclaiming the Territorial Cup to fielding an NCAA Division I hockey team for the very first time, the fall 2015 semester provided so many cardinal moments for the Sun Devil Athletic Department to celebrate. Now more than ever, ASU has an unparalleled arsenal of student athletes who embody the true characteristics of what it means to be a Sun Devil. From Mike Bercovici to Callie Farquharson to Macy Gardner, the Sun Devils have so much to be proud of on the field and off. And here at Cronkite Sports Live, it was our privilege to cover these athletes this semester. After taking the time to celebrate all our coverage teams and what they have had to offer this semester, Jake, it's time to reflect back on what Cronkite Sports Live has accomplished after 5 seasons on the air.
Right, and in this semester in particular, we saw the implementation of a rundown at each and every one of our shows, new graphics that were really pristine thanks to executive producer Brett Deckert, and the executive producers in general, their talent has been unwavering, and the same can be said for those behind the desk and on camera.
Well, it's been our privilege to bring you Arizona State coverage throughout the duration of this show. 5 seasons old and an infinite number to go. Cronkite Sports Live will only get better from here. So signing off from season 5 one final time for our entire Cronkite Sports Live crew.
I'm Jake Garcia.
I'm Kerry Crowley. Thank you so much and have a happy holidays.